The names Fukushima and Chernobyl bring up thoughts of radiation, danger, and death for most people. But for some, those names just mean home. And even after terrible nuclear disasters, people stay. Back in 2011, CNN's Matthew Chance talked to a couple who has lived in Chernobyl for years.
Given all the risks of the radiation sickness here, the contamination, why would you choose to live here?
We were in the first group of resettlers. There were 110 people, and the military did everything for us. They disinfected the area, the grass was healthy. They took out all the contaminated stuff, even fixed the broken fences. We were welcomed with music.
A nuclear reactor at the Chernobyl plant blew up in 1986, resulting in the worst nuclear accident ever. I'm joined now by author and photographer Michael Forster Rothbard, who has spent a lot of time in Chernobyl and also in Fukushima. He just released a new electronic TED book inspired by the popular TED Talks online. His book is called Would You Stay? Michael, good to see you.
Hi, Federica. Thanks for having me.
So you have talked to an awful lot of people, and many of whom say they stay in these areas. Why?
Yeah, it's hard for us to remember in this country. We are so transient. You know, we move from one place to another, and so it's hard to imagine if you lived in a village your whole life, and not only that, but your ancestors lived there, not only in the village, but in the same house as your ancestors. You wouldn't leave just because of some radiation.
That is extraordinary. It is still hard for people to believe because they think, you know, their life, their daily lives are in jeopardy every day, potentially that, you know, folks will just pick up and leave. But as you say, they've got these kind of ties. You met one man in particular who was a mail carrier, right, in Chernobyl, who felt the effects of radiation. What's his story? And is his story one that he still chooses to stay?
Yeah, really all of my pictures have a story behind it, but this is Leonid Bukovsky, who was a mailman, and he delivered top-secret mail to into the Chernobyl zone for 5 years. And many of the people he worked with stopped working because they were afraid of the radiation, but he felt like it was his patriotic duty to continue. And so by 1996, he started to have trouble with his legs. He's been in a wheelchair now for more than 15 years. And the interesting thing is he doesn't have any regrets. He feels like he made the right choice.
And so his wife there, presumably his wife, right, who is helping him there because of his limited mobility?
Yeah, he actually invited me to a birthday party, and that was during his wife's birthday party.
Oh.
And you can see in the pictures, he's like this big teddy bear of a man, and he says, these people don't see themselves as heroes, but I really do, because they're willing to risk their health for the benefit of their country.
Now, what about for you? Here you are going to these areas to interview, to talk to take pictures, and there really still, you know, is a lot of mystery as to what kind of residual effects there may be in terms of radiation in these zones, Fukushima and even Chernobyl. Do you ever worry about your own personal safety when you have contact with folks in these places?
Yeah, we still don't know the exact consequences of long-term exposure to low levels of radiation, but it was a risk I was willing to take because I feel like these stories are important. A lot of photographers talk about the importance of, you know, just raising awareness, but I feel like that's enough. For me, I feel like I'm holding up a mirror to people, so people can see what the consequences are, and really, it's not just about reflection; it's about reconciliation, I would say.
So when you see these areas, say for instance Chernobyl, and you have the gentleman who, you know, said that the gentleman that our Matthew Chance spoke with, who said, you know, well, look at the grass. I mean, it's still living. How desolate, how barren does it look? Because when you look at some of those still images, I mean, it looks fairly lifeless, except for the living beings that you're talking to.
Well, I'd say, you know, in the Chernobyl exclusion zone and in Fukushima as well, you know, life goes on. So the animals are still there. They may not be as healthy as they would be with the radiation, but there's still definitely a lot of life going on. And I think what's interesting to think about is that it's just, you know, like that picture you just showed of people eating apples. The people grow the crops and they still eat them, and they're not that worried about the dangers.
Wow, that is extraordinary. And it's still a mystery as to how people can kind of look beyond those things and carry on. Michael Forster Rothbart, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your endeavor.
Thank you. I appreciate being here with you.